Hello everyone, welcome back. Nestled in North Africa's expanse lies Libya, a nation with a history as rich and varied as its terrain. Over the past decades, Libya has seen monumental shifts in governance, society, and identity. Join us as we sail through the tumultuous history of Libya from the reign of King Idris to the challenges of the present day. In 1951, Libya emerged from colonial rule and King Idris took over. His regime ushered in a period of relative stability and prosperity fueled by the country's abundant oil reserves. However, beneath the facade of calmness, discontent simmered, laying the groundwork for massive political change. In 1969, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi seized control of Libya in a bloodless coup, toppling the monarchy King Idris and initiating an era of revolutionary change. Gaddafi established himself as the country's undisputed leader. Gaddafi's vision for Libya was ambitious and revolutionary, blending elements of Arab nationalism, socialism, and Pan-Africanism. Gaddafi's regime centralized power, suppressed dissent, and embarked on ambitious social and sweeping economic reforms. Libya's oil wealth financed grandiose projects including the Great Man-Made River, touted as the world's largest irrigation system, and initiatives aimed at improving education, healthcare, and infrastructure. However, beneath the surface, cracks began to appear. Gaddafi cultivated a cult of personality, presenting himself as a revolutionary leader and champion of the Libyan people. His idiosyncratic style and eccentric behavior garnered international attention, often overshadowing the realities of life under his rule. Despite Gaddafi's promises of an utopian society, Libya under his rule was marked by widespread human rights abuses, political repression, and censorship. Dissent was swiftly quashed, political opponents faced persecution, activists and journalists facing imprisonment, torture, or disappearance, leading to growing resentment among segments of Libyan society. Despite the controversy surrounding Gaddafi's regime, Libya remained an influential player in regional and international affairs. Gaddafi's foreign policy was characterized by defiance and unpredictability, leading to strained relations with the West and intermittent periods of isolation. Libya's support for militant groups, including the Irish Republican Army and Palestinian militants, grew condemnation from the international community. The 1980s and 90s saw mounting international isolation as Gaddafi's regime clashed with the West and supported various militant groups. The 1988 bombing of the Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, dealt a severe blow to Libya's international standing. After years of denial, Libya eventually accepted the responsibility for the attack, agreeing to pay compensation to the victim's family and renounce its support for terrorism. Despite Gaddafi's efforts to consolidate power, opposition to his regime persisted. The spark that ignited Libya's transformation came in 2011 as popular protests erupted across the Arab world during the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring brought unprecedented challenges to Gaddafi's rule, as protests erupted across Libya demanding an end to his authoritarian regime. Libyan citizens, inspired by their counterparts in Tunisia and Egypt, took to the streets demanding an end to Gaddafi's authoritarian rule. What began as peaceful demonstrations soon escalated into a full-fledged civil war, with Gaddafi's forces unleashing brutal crackdowns on demonstrators. NATO intervention provided crucial support to the rebel forces, which tipped the scales of the conflict, leading to Gaddafi's eventual downfall, capture, and killing in October 2011. His death marked an end of an era. Libya grapples with the complexities of its post-Gaddafi reality. The ghosts of the past continue to haunt its present. Gaddafi's ousting left Libya in a state of turmoil. Rival militias vied for power, tribal divisions resurfaced, and extremist groups exploited the power vacuum. Libya became a battleground for competing factions, exacerbating humanitarian crisis and destabilizing the region. Libya has grappled with the daunting task of rebuilding a fractured nation. International efforts to broker peace and foster dialogue have yielded mixed results, with intermittent ceasefires and political agreements failing to bring long-lasting stability. Libya is currently ruled by the United Nations-backed government with Abdul Hamid Dbeiba as the Prime Minister. Libya has 6 direct neighbors: Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Niger, Algeria, and Tunisia, with common borders totaling around 4,500 kilometers. These countries together hold a population of around 200 million, compared with the Libyan population of just over 6 million. Libya's strategic location has made it a focal point of regional diplomacy and global geopolitics. Reserves of minerals including iron and gold are estimated to be in abundance, despite the fact that they are still largely untapped. Apart from Algeria, a major oil and gas producer, the other 5 neighboring countries have very limited natural wealth and are considered largely to be weak economies, with high levels of unemployment and very low level of per capita income. It is in this context that the dynamics of the relationship between Libya and its neighbors can be understood. Libya has long been a destination for millions of people from its neighboring countries, Algeria aside, who are seeking work and good income from the resource-rich nation with a low population. But these neighboring nations have legitimate concerns over the threats that an unstable and a conflict-stricken Libya pose to their own security and economic well-being. They believe that the lack of a strong central Libyan government imposing its authority on the whole of Libya's territory, including its borders, has resulted in a dangerous security vacuum. Consequently, Libya has become a country of transit not just for unregulated migration but for extremist groups, organized crime, and illegal arms trafficking, which in turn poses a major threat especially to Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt. However, some of Libya's neighbors have also been directly or indirectly contributing to the instability and raging conflict in Libya. Egypt has been fueling the conflict in Libya by backing the side of Khalifa Haftar, whom it sees as an ally against Islamist groups within Libya. Egypt considers the Islamist groups as a threat to its national security. Libya's western neighbors Algeria and Tunisia adopted a strategy diametrically opposed to that of Egypt and refrained from involvement through active support for one side or the other. Libya's southern neighbors, Niger, Chad, and Sudan, have a very reduced capacity to control their common borders with Libya. These borders are highly porous and people move across with almost total freedom and ease. Niger allows traffickers to be very active in smuggling both humans and drugs. Agadez town, not far from Libyan border, is used as a hub for migrants from all over Africa on their way across Libya to Europe. As per research, hundreds of fighters from Chad and Sudan are feeding off instability in Libya. These fighters are reportedly paid to fight for rival factions in the Libyan conflict. Both Chad and Sudan are accused of supporting opposing Libyan factions. As a prominent Arab nation, Libya has played a pivotal role in regional affairs, forging alliances with fellow Arab states and participating in pan-Arab initiatives. Its support for Palestinian liberation movements and opposition to Israeli policies have earned it respect and solidarity among Arab nations. The relationship between Libya and the United States has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, from confrontations and sanctions in the aftermath of the Lockerbie bombing to a period of rapport building and cooperation in the 2000s under Gaddafi's rule. Libya's proximity to Europe has made it a key partner in addressing shared challenges such as illegal migration, terrorism, and energy security. Economic investments, development aid, and security cooperation have shaped relations with European powers, although political instability and conflict have at times strained these ties. In the aftermath of 2011 revolution and the ousting of Gaddafi, Libya's foreign relations entered a period of uncertainty and flux. Political fragmentation, security challenges, and competing power dynamics have complicated efforts to rebuild diplomatic ties and navigate the complexities of the post-revolutionary landscape. As Libya embarks on its journey of recovery and reconstruction, the future of its diplomatic relations remain uncertain. Yet, amidst the complexities and uncertainties, one thing remains clear. Libya's strategic significance and geopolitical influence will continue to shape its relations with neighboring countries, Arab nations, the United States, and European powers for years to come. The scars of decades of dictatorship run deep. But as Libya continues on its journey of recovery and progress, the resilience and determination of its people offer hope for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I'll come back with my next video. Till then, bye bye.